Hello, and welcome to Sip, Sip, Hooray, the podcast for people who like wine, but not the stuffiness that's often associated with the wine scene. On the podcast today, we're tackling a topic we've been wrestling with for years. Even back when we were doing our television show in wine country, the number one thing people always ask us is, can you do wine country on a budget? Well, over the years, the Napa Valley wine experience has only gotten more expensive, with wine tastings regularly costing upwards of $100. So is it possible to experience this incredible wine mecca without blowing a small fortune in the process? Can you be bougie on a budget? Mary Orlin and I have done some digging, and the answer is yes. Today, we're going to share our top finds for saving a buck in Napa Valley while still wining and dining your way through the valley. A caveat, none of the prices that we mentioned today are fixed. It's just what we found currently. And also, we're not getting paid to promote any of these places. They're just what we discovered on our quest to find some bargains among the wine barrels. We are the two Marys who like to eat, drink, and be merry. I'm Mary Babbitt.
I'm Mary Orlin. Is visiting Napa Valley out of reach? Fear not. There is a much more affordable Napa. Mary Babbitt, as she said, and I have the inside scoop on the wine tastings for $50 or less, hotels in the $200 or less range, and restaurants that won't break the bank. We've even got some freebies. We've done the research, so you don't have to. You might even have money left over for a special splurge or to buy some wine. You don't have to take notes. Every place and experience we talk about is in our show notes at sipsiphooraypodcast.com. And Mary B., with everything that we've discovered, it just makes me want to go back to Napa now.
You are not kidding. Me too. I couldn't get over all the fun things I found in my research. And, I think it's important to mention that I think Napa Valley is starting to slowly get the message. I spoke with a guy at Hall Winery just this morning who was saying, hey, we are responding to the fact that people's budgets feel tighter. Prices are really high, and they're starting to respond and offer some different options for different level budgets.
Absolutely. And I just got a pitch from a hotel. I'm sorry, I just got a pitch from a winery. Hotels are on my mind right now. That they are going to offer a new wine tasting experience that's only $60. So,
Right.
they're getting the message. It's better than $80 or $100 for sure. But $60 is a little bit above our price point. And I should say that we decided that we were going to present you with wine tasting experiences that are $50 or less.
Right. The key being or less, because that's what made sense to us. And it didn't feel like it was budget friendly if it was more than 50. So here we go. We're going to kick this off with where to go wine tasting in Napa Valley for under 50.
Great. So one place that I love and is really fun is Cliff Family Winery and Farm. They're in St. Helena. What's great about Cliff Family, you may know them from Cliff Bars, and they're very into hiking and environmental causes. They're a B Corp certified family-owned winery. Best thing about them is no reservation, no problem. They offer same day appointments based on availability. So you don't need to worry about a reservation. This is Wednesday through Sundays, and you can experience what they call their Cheers tasting. It's $40. You get 3 to 4 seasonal wines paired with their favorite Cliff Family bar snacks. It's not a meal, but it's a little bit something to put in your tummy while you're sipping. But you can also experience a tasting of just 3 to 4 wines. If you walk in, you can also do by the glass or bottle service. So it's really great. But they also have what they call their seasonal wine tasting, and they are offering some of their handcrafted smaller production wines with seasonal bites. And it's $50. You do need 24-hour notice reservations for this one experience, the seasonal wine tasting. But they also have mocktail flights available, which I thought was really cool. And again, for $50.
All sounds delicious to me. And I love that you don't need a reservation. That's pretty unusual because a lot of the places we're going to mention today, they do require a reservation. They may have some walk-in options. That'll be more during the week than on the weekends. So that is just one little note. All right. So a winery that I think does a lot of things right and has been for a long time, Behringer Vineyards, 145 years of winemaking experience in Napa Valley. It's an iconic winery and it's got a beautiful grounds and lots of history there. And they have two budget-friendly options, the $35 Legacy Cave Tour and the $20 Sip and Stroll experience. So the Legacy Cave Tour, you get to go through it's a walking tour through their caves, and it's a 30-minute tour. You're guided through the old winery and historic wine aging tunnels, and you'll learn about Behringer's extensive winemaking history and really feel like you get to know the place. It's $30, and during that time, you're going to taste a collection of selection, I should say, of three wines. Again, $35 a person. If you're a non-drinker, it's $15. All right. And then their other option, well, they have many options, but the other affordable option is the Sip and Stroll at Behringer. This is $20. And what it includes is you get a glass of wine and you can immerse yourself in the beautiful grounds. So you walk around the grounds of the Behringer estate, enjoying your wine at your leisure. And you can select a favorite glass from they have a special menu available for wines by the glass when you arrive. And then as you sip and stroll, you'll drink in the history of Behringer and enjoy the 146-year-old estate. This I thought was pretty cool. Families, children, and dogs are welcome on a leash at no
Nice.
extra cost, right? And that is the only thing at Behringer where they say, yeah, kids and dogs come on in. So it's the sip and stroll, and they limit it to 6 people in your party. And you need to know you're not sitting down during this experience. It is what it says, a sip and stroll. And it is Monday through Friday at Behringer.
Fantastic. I love that. And Behringer is so beautiful. It
Also
really,
in St. Helena, I should mention. Sorry.
yes. Um, so this next one is also in St. Helena. And again, it's a winery that has a lot of history behind it. Sutter Home Family Vineyards. Now you may be thinking Sutter Home and White Zinfandel. Well, yes, they did pioneer White Zinfandel, made it very popular, and it's still around. But Sutter Home also makes other varieties. They do have a lot of sweeter options because let's face it, a lot of Americans have a sweet palate. So these are very popular, but they also have drier wines that you might consider to be a little bit more serious. So it's great to go check it out. Now, reservations are required and they have 3 different options that you can choose from. First is their $10 sweet selection. You get 3 to 4 wines, and I'm pretty sure that the White Zin will be in there. Then there's a $10 fruit infusion flight, 3 or 4 tastes here. These are Moscato-based fruit wines or fruit infused wines. So you get the sweetness from the Moscato and the fruit. So there are different flavor profiles to try. Then they have their $15 founder selection. Um, this is a 3 sweet, 2 dry wines flight, but they allow you to customize. So if you say, I just want all dry or I want all sweet, that's fine. So you can enjoy all these flights in their historic tasting room or in the beautiful outdoor garden area. And so, it's great. They are open Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And, always want to make a reservation usually. Um, and also check each winery's hours. Not every wine tasting room is open 7 days a week. So be sure you know when the wineries you want to visit are open. But Sutter Home has this beautiful Victorian mansion, rose gardens. So it's just a great place to kind of have some fun and kick back.
All right. We're going to go next door to Rutherford to Mum Napa, and they have a couple of great options if you're looking for sparkling and you're looking to not break the bank. One of their experiences. It's called the outdoor patio experience. You taste a flight of sparkling wines on their beautiful outdoor patio while enjoying views of the surrounding vineyards and the Mayacamas Mountains. And that's from $40 a person. It can go up if you're choosing different vintages. You might choose an older selection of sparklings, or a more premium selection, but their basic is $40 per person. But if it's sometimes in the summer thing, it can get hot in Napa Valley. So you might opt to stay inside in the tasting room, but it's a window filled tasting room. So this is also $40 a person. Again, a flight of sparkling wines in the comfort of their climate controlled tasting room. And you get to look out over the vineyards and the Mayacamas Mountains. But truly, the reason Mum is on my list is because one of the best things about Mum is, besides the sparkling wine, they also do rotating visiting artists. So you never know when they've changed up, and often photography based. So you never know when they've changed up their collection. And it's certainly worth a visit because you get to combine, it's like going to an art gallery while also going to a winery. So Mum in Rutherford, a great option if you're looking for something to do instead of just drinking.
I always recommend Mum to friends of mine who say, "Where should I go?" Because of how beautiful it is, but also because of the photography exhibit. It's something special.
Yeah, it really is. And it's fun to find that, and just it's like getting a twofer, right? You get
Right.
the bubbles and the art. So I
Hmm.
love that.
Great. Well, you've probably heard of Rumbauer Vineyards if you are a Chardonnay fan. They have certainly been one of the wineries that put the California style of Chardonnay with the big, oaky, buttery, full-bodied Chardonnays on the map. Their tasting room is in St. Helena, and this is one of the better deals in the valley. They have hosted tastings. You do need a reservation, but it's $25 just for their
Oh,
basic
nice.
tasting. Yeah. So you get a mix of their wines, and you learn about their limited production and single vineyard bottlings, and you could pay more if you want to try that. But um, you know, I think with $25, you get to sip some beautiful wine. You get to stroll around the beautiful grounds. And here's a tip: they allow you to bring a picnic. So um, if you want to do that, they just ask that you make a reservation for what they call the outside experience when you're making your reservation. As I said, they do require reservations 24 hours in advance, but then you can just really relax and sip and have a snack or a little picnic and just really live the wine country lifestyle.
That is a great deal. And that's a really good way to stay inside a budget, because when you bring your own food, it's always cheaper than buying it elsewhere, right? So pack a
Absolutely.
picnic. I love that. Did you say $25?
$25.
$25 tastings? Mm-mm-mm. All right. That's a good one. Um, keeping, I mentioned Mum having a twofer with the art and wine experience. Well, so does Hall Winery in St. Helena. And they have a couple of good deals going. Monday through Thursday, you can enjoy their Art of Cabernet wine tasting experience. You need a reservation. It's $40. And with that, in the Art of Cabernet experience, you taste four different wines featuring Hall's award-winning Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, the experience is hosted at the Tasting Bar, which overlooks their vineyards and the Mayacamas Mountains again. And it is Hall Winery is stunning. The grounds are just spectacular and just fully filled with art. So this, I think, is the key tip at Hall. I think Art of Cabernet is a great deal for four cabs,
Mm-hmm.
$40. But any day of the week, you can buy a glass of Hall wine starting at about $14 and up, and you can stroll around their incredible art-filled gardens. They have an incredible contemporary art collection, including their giant metal bunny fufu, which you can see from Highway 29. It's so iconic and it's so fun and whimsical. So you see that as you drive in, and that speaks to kind of the fun and love that owners Catherine and Craig Hall have for art. They are lifelong art lovers and collectors, and they have amassed an impressive collection that you can enjoy as you wander around their 33-acre property. And you are welcome to do that. And you are welcome any day of the week. In fact, you don't even have to buy wine to go there and walk around the grounds. So, just a really great spot. It really feels like you are bougie and you can do it on a budget.
That's amazing. Wow. So after you've had your fill of tasting wine, there are other things to do in the valley. So hiking is one of them, and you may not realize, but there are a lot of parks, state parks, and all scattered throughout Napa Valley. And the best thing about hiking is it's free, and you can work off some of those calories you ingested. And but there's so Visit Napa Valley is an organization that helps promote um, visitors coming to the Napa Valley, and they promote what there is to do and places to stay. We'll get into that a little bit more, but Visit Napa Valley has a blog on their website about the best places to hike. So you get a nice long list, but I'll point out some of our favorites are Booth Valley Napa State Park, the Robert Louis Stevenson State Park, and Skyline Wilderness Park. And one cool thing about Skyline Wilderness Park is they have a frisbee disc golf course. So bring your frisbee and you can play for free and just have another way to have fun and kind of enjoy California's great outdoors.
Oh, and it is spectacular up there. In fact, I think it is that the Visit Napa Valley is responding to people want to be out and active and healthy and also maybe enjoy wine afterwards. So these are great things to do before or after wine tasting, but I'm going to say do the wine tasting later. But in addition to hiking, there's the Napa Valley Trail is open to biking. And there's a map that's 12.5 miles long through John F. Kennedy Park in Napa to Yountville. You can walk that same trail if you prefer, but it is fun to get out and about and experience Napa Valley. I think, sure, people come for the wineries, but oh my goodness, those wineries, what makes them so special is the just stunning scenery of the Napa Valley. So getting out and enjoying it on your feet or on a bike is such a great way to experience the Napa Valley on a budget. We will include links to visitnapavalley.com, which has, of course, all the trails and things you need.
Right. And also to the Napa Vine Trail. And one thing to know about the Napa Vine Trail, right now it's 12.5 miles, but there's ongoing work to expand the trail all the way up to Calistoga and all the way south to Vallejo. So I think it's going to be about 37 something miles. So once that's complete, that'll be an awesome workout for folks who love to bike or run or walk.
Can you imagine linking all those communities? I just love that. So you don't need to be in a car to go through Napa from Calistoga, as you said, down to Vallejo. It would be just incredible.
Absolutely.
All right. Another idea if you're not wine tasting, what else can you do in Napa Valley? Well, how about olive oil tasting? It is free at the Olive Press at the Oxbow Public Market. You can taste their entire line of olive oils and vinegars Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, and you just can't get any better than free. But that is the Olive Press, and they have some really yummy options from blood orange to thyme oil, balsamic, other vinegars. And they have an impressive collection, and it shows you that Napa Valley does more than just wine. They're also getting really good at olive oil.
Absolutely. And while you're also at the Oxbow Market, you could do a booze tasting. The Napa Valley Distillery has two options for tasting their libations. So while you're at the Oxbow Public Market, after you do an olive oil tasting, and that would be the right order, in my opinion, you could go to their boutique and taste 6 brandies. There's no hard liquor license at Oxbow Market, so the distillery can only do brandies there. But you get 6 tastes for $25, and you don't need a reservation.
Giddy up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's anything you're going to be able to do after that, but six
Maybe
days,
not.
let's
Yeah.
go.
But you're at Oxbow Market. There's a lot of options for grabbing something to eat while you're there too. So, um,
Yes.
but if you're really into spirits, you can go visit the distillery, which is not that far away in Napa, and you can get a 1 hour tour and tasting of six spirits, which includes whiskey, rum, gin, and their very popular bourbon, and that's only $45.
Well, I think that's fun because not everybody, dare we say it, not everybody loves wine. So it's fun to have another option. Or maybe you like wine and, right?
Hmm.
You're an equal opportunity drinker, which excuse me, I'm trying to get
Absolutely.
over this cold. All right. Well, right next door to Oxbow is Copia. And Mary Orland and I have been enjoying Copia for so many years now. I think since it opened, right? But
Absolutely.
it's now run by the CIA at Copia, has created a really cool food and beverage center. And visiting Copia, you get to take in so much. They've got 4,000 pieces of cookware, appliances, food prep tools, and more. It is like a walk through food history. And it will remind you of you'll see things from your grandmother's kitchen to just really fun stuff on display. So that's a fun, kind of different style of art gallery experience, but it's a really fun one, food centered. And it features an old friend of ours, their art on display, Gordon Uther. Mary, you want to tell them about Gordon?
Yeah, Gordon is a world-renowned artist. We met him years ago doing our show. We visited his studio and saw how he puts his art together. What he is known for is putting together found objects and creating incredible sculptures. And so Gordon was commissioned to create two memorable sculptures for Copia at the CIA at Copia. Fork is an 18-foot high piece comprised of more than 8,500 recycled forks. And there's one called Is That Bob and Margaret? And this is a tribute to Robert Mondavi and Margaret Bevier Mondavi, who founded and funded Copia. The work sits on top of the CIA at Copia's 75-foot tower, and it features the Mondavis toasting with wine, of course. So, and while you're there, be sure to walk through the extensive gardens. There's flowers, vegetables, a lot of things that they're growing for the restaurant. It's absolutely beautiful, and all of this is free.
They have some food options there, which we'll get to later, but the CIA at Copia definitely worth a stop. Another fun thing to do is the Napa Art Walk, and it's a rotating exhibit of multiple works throughout the city, and they're on view for 24 months. And what this means, you want to download a walking map from napaartwalk.org, and you stroll through. It's kind of like a scavenger hunt, an art scavenger hunt through Napa, and you get to see some incredible works on display for the year. And it's a fun way to see more of Napa on foot and enjoy some of the immense talent that they've amassed in Napa, artistically speaking.
Absolutely. And if you like museums, don't miss the Napa Valley Museum. It's in Yountville, and they have rotating exhibits, special events, but you can go visit and check out their current exhibitions, and it's $15 per person. So it's a nice break. If it's a hot day, it's nice to get inside and spend a little time there. And so I highly recommend it. It's just a sweet little museum.
That's a good one. I like that. We should also mention the Rail Arts District, better known as RAD in Napa. It's a 2 mile stretch following the Napa Valley Wine Trail, which we mentioned before. And this former industrial area, RAD Napa, is now a free outdoor contemporary art museum showcasing murals, sculptures, installations, and more by both local and international artists. And best of all, you got it, it is free. So, some fun things to do besides wine tasting when you are in
Absolutely.
Napa Valley.
Absolutely. And with all that walking around, you'll probably work up an appetite. So
Oh,
let's
yeah.
talk about where to go eat.
Well, we mentioned the Oxbow Market earlier, and that it is just chock full of food, but we found all kinds of other places. And one of the best deals you're going to get is tacos, right, Mary?
Oh, yes. I mean, who doesn't love a good taco? And there are many options from taquerias to taco trucks. So and there's so many that it will take too much time for us to list them all. So we will post in our show notes, but Visit Napa Valley once again has a great list. It's what they call the Napa Valley Taco Trail, which includes taquerias and taco trucks. And then there is a man named Steve Sando, and he founded the company Rancho Gordo, which specializes in heirloom bean varieties. Um, Mary Babbitt and I met Steve years ago
Yeah, we
when
did.
he was starting up Rancho Gordo, but he gave a great interview to Eater SF about what his favorite Napa restaurants are, which includes a lot of tacos, and he's kind of an expert on tacos. So be sure to check that out.
Mhm. All right. So when it comes to dining on a budget in Napa Valley, we should say you're probably not going to get the white tablecloth experience where or the man or woman comes and scrapes the crumbs off your table. These are going to be more low key experiences, but many of them are still iconically wine country. And in fact, over the years, Mary Orland and I have discovered through experience that locals don't always do the fancy all the time. It's a pretty low key area if you live there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some great options for you if you don't mind going a little more low key. I mentioned earlier the Oxbow Public Market. I guess I should say that inside Oxbow, you'll find Hog Island Oyster Company, Model Bakery, which you can get pastries any time of day, great grab and go stuff for picnics. Ritual Coffee Roasters is there. Si Casa Mexican and El Porteño Argentine Empanadas, which is a fun thing to take on a picnic. And just there is a lot of different options inside Oxbow. So if you have a group where somebody wants a taco, somebody wants something else, it's a great way to kind of please a lot of palates in one spot. So I wanted to start off with that one.
Absolutely. And I just want to mention Model Bakery is home to one of Oprah's favorites, the English muffins. And the way they make their the way they make their English muffins is so distinctly different from what you get at the supermarket. So you don't want to miss those.
Mhm.
Um, but so, okay, so you're not going to get the white tablecloth experience, but many of you know Thomas Keller or the name Thomas Keller or the French Laundry, probably definitely Napa's premier chef.
Mhm.
But we found out how you can do Thomas Keller for less because forget the French Laundry, which starts at $3.90 per person plus add-ons, and that's
Yeah,
not even including wine.
that's your dream dinner. That's your lottery win dinner.
Absolutely. But to get a taste of Thomas Keller for less, there's a few options. Ad Hoc is a restaurant that has a prefix 3-course lunch and a 4-course dinner. It's a daily changing family style menu featuring classic American dishes, fried chicken, and their fried chicken is some of the best I've ever had, pot roast, barbecue, and all courses are served family style and it's a set menu. So if you're going on one night, it's going to be fried chicken. If you're going on another night, it's going to be barbecue. So just know that going in.
Yeah,
But
and you need to be flexible, but you also need to trust, hey, it's Thomas Keller. It's not going to be bad. It's going to be delicious. So you just got to let go of oh, well, I don't know if I want fried. Just go with it and you're going to love it.
right. So lunch or dinner is $69 for 3 to 4 courses, which is awesome. They will charge extra for the famous fried chicken and short ribs. So just know that. But, I think it's a great deal and the food is always great and the portions are generous.
And it's one of the preeminent chefs in the world is
Uh,
in charge of the food there. So
uh,
trust.
Absolutely. So And I should say all of his restaurants are in Yountville.
Hmm.
So um, another great place is Bouchon Bakery. Now
Oh,
don't
yeah.
now don't let the wines dissuade you. There's always a line, but it moves fairly quickly. So once you're inside, you find a dizzying array of beautiful breakfast pastries, artisan breads, and sandwiches to go. So if you want to pick up a picnic, this is a great place to stop.
Mm.
Be sure to try the signature Bouchon Bakery, which is in the shape of a bouchon, or what the French call a cork. So bouchon is French for cork, and that's the inspiration for the name of the bakery too.
So
And
delicious, all of it.
I know.
So,
And
and
then
oh, go ahead.
and then he also has a Mexican restaurant called La Calenda. And everything here is great. You can certainly get tacos, but they have things like conchinita pibil, which I love, which is a pork shoulder roasted in a banana leaf, camarones de mojo, pollo al carbone. So you get a lot of awesome things, and their entrees top out at $32. $32. So, that's really terrific again for Thomas Keller quality food.
Absolutely. All right. Another iconic spot that makes you feel like you're a local is dining at Gott's in St. Helena. Gott's also has a location at the Oxbow Market, but I'm going to vote for the St. Helena spot because it's right along Highway 29. And though Gott's has 8 locations around the San Francisco Bay Area, their roadside restaurant in St. Helena is the original and a game famed for being a casual spot where you can get a Neiman Ranch or ahi tuna burger, tacos, a chicken sandwich, and you can pair it with fries and an excellent glass of wine, or maybe a milkshake, or both. It is a fun spot to sit and eat and just kind of watch Napa Valley go by. Dining is outdoors, and again, you watch the parade of people driving through Napa Valley or cruising around. There's always a crowd there and it's super fun. It just feels casual and fun. Prices are under $20. And so you really can't go wrong at Gott's because you're going to feel like you're part of the scene. Gott's also owns a place called The Station a little further down the street in St. Helena. And there you order at the counter, you grab a picnic table right there, and you eat outside in the heart of St. Helena. You can also take it to go, but their menu items include things like $14 BLT, chicken Caesar focaccia, ham and cheese baguettes. It's all $14 and under. And they also offer some salads and they have pizza adjacent a couple of days a week, Wednesday through Sunday, and that starts at $25. They also do breakfast. That's everything from quiche to avocado toast, breakfast biscuits, and smoothies. All of those items coming in under $15. So that's a fun one too. That's the station. So Gott's and the station, same family, 2 different locations, very close to one another, very casual Napa Valley scene.
Nice. So I'm going to keep on the Top Chef track here.
All right.
Christopher Costow is the chef at the famed Meadowood Napa Valley Resort. And he, along with Thomas Keller, have earned 3 Michelin stars for the restaurants. Um, People may know that the restaurant at Meadowood Napa Valley burned down in the 2020 fires, but while that's being rebuilt, of course, but Christopher Costa has 3 more eateries in the valley, which are much more affordable. So in Napa, he has the Levesky Deli, where you can get, of course, bagels and lox and all those wonderful Jewish foods, deli foods, corned beef, everything. And it's a really cool diner experience. Then he's got the Charter Oak in St. Helena. And the neat thing about Charter Oak is a lot of it's based on hearth cooking. So there's a big wood burning oven there, and you get a lot of great grilled dishes. It's very casual. There's a nice outdoor garden to sit into. So I think that's really fun. And then he Costa also has an Italian restaurant. He took over the very popular, and I'm hoping I'm saying this correctly, Chichiccio um, Napa Valley restaurant, and it's also this one's in Yountville,
Mhm.
and they have just it's a local favorite, um, for terrific pastas, wood fired on snacks. They have pizza, they
So
have
good.
mains, everything. And again, the most expensive thing on the menu is their pork chop Milanese. That's $44. So everything else is definitely under the $40 mark, and many items in the 15 to 20 to $30 range.
And such good quality, so delicious.
Right.
Okay, another fun one where you get to have the fine dining vibe without the fine dining price, maybe, is Pavilion at the Carneros Resort and Spa. So they have a restaurant there called Farm, and it's very scenic and lovely surroundings of the Carneros Resort. And it's a farmhouse tradition, but farm. So that's their I guess, more upscale restaurant. And then they have kind of an indoor outdoor small plate experience called Pavilion. So Pavilion at Carneros has small plates under $30. They have pizza, wine, and cocktails. So you sit in the beautiful indoor outdoor pavilion. You can stroll around the gorgeous Carneros grounds and enjoy this swanky yet casual scene without paying big bucks to stay there, which feels a little sneaky, but it's such
Mm.
a lovely way to experience it. And maybe you get inspired to save up and want to stay there another time. But this is a lovely way to take it in without having to break the bank.
I love that. It is such a beautiful place. This one is something new for me. It's called the House of Better. It's in Calistoga, and it's an affordable Southwestern style restaurant that's attached to the famous Wilkinson Spa, which is one of the wonderful natural hot spring spas in Calistoga. The menu is hearty and healthy, inspired by New Mexico. Um, you'll be able to try things like red chile pozole, green chili stew, fish tacos, enchiladas, grains and green salads and bowls. And the best part is all of these come in at under $20. The house specialty you won't want to miss, it's a green chili apple pie with walnut streusel, cheddar crust, whipped cream, and a red chili honey drizzle. $8 a slice. I want that now.
But I do too. You're going through this description. I'm like, oh my goodness. Never in my wildest dreams would I have thought up a green chili apple pie. But
I know, but
dang, with the cheddar crust and the red chili honey
yeah.
drizzle.
Uh,
Woo,
Whoever thought
be
of that
still.
just has a very creative, decadent mind.
Hmm. Besides that pie, the one of the nice things about House of Better is they really are trying to do things kind of healthy, and so it makes you feel better about all the whining and dining and indulging you do in Napa Valley. So that's
Right.
fun. Another classic though, Mayor, and it's been around forever, but it's still good. You can't go wrong. It's Trevinia. It's on Main Street in St. Helena. It's a classic Napa Valley restaurant, and you can find some great deals there, including happy hour deals, $2 oysters, $4 for their crispy arancini balls, smoked chicken wings, $12. And they have some affordable options on the dinner menu as well. The small pizzas all come in under $23. The larger size is about $30 a pie. And they also offer small and large size salads, some fun flatbreads or piadinas, all under $20. And of course, you got to have some pasta. So they have Nona's spaghetti and meatballs, rigatoni bolognese, or chicken parmesan. All of those entrees are under $20. And Trevina, of course, has a wide variety of cocktails, beer, and wine. And again, you feel like a Napa Valley regular when you're at Trevina. It is tried and true, and it's been there forever for a reason. So you can enjoy it without breaking the bank.
That's fantastic. So this one is also new to me. It's called the Lincoln, and it's an
Mm.
American gastropub. They've got an outdoor patio overlooking the Napa River. And, you may not be aware that there's a river that flows through Napa Valley, and you see it mostly in downtown Napa. Um, and it's beautiful. Now,
It,
the Lincoln has specialty cocktails. And people are moving towards cocktails and away from wine a bit. It's a nice break, but they also have a lot of fun menu items, a beer cheeseburger and short rib tacos. And one nice thing about the Lincoln is they stay open late too. You can order the full menu until 11 o'clock at night. And
which is unheard of, right? Nobody
yeah,
does that.
yeah. And a smaller late night menu until 1:30 a.m. I mean, I remember years ago, you couldn't get anything in Napa Valley after 10 o'clock.
I know. It shuts down. It's kind of sleepy, truly. So it's
Yeah,
fun that the Lincoln is willing to stay
I
open
know.
late.
Yeah, things are changing, which is great.
Mhm.
Um, so you can start with truffle and Parmesan popcorn for
I've
10
heard,
bucks.
yeah, I've heard you got to get that $10 and it's a fun bowl. And I think a bowl of popcorn with a glass of wine is a great combination.
Actually, it goes really great with sparkling wine.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You can get bourbon deviled eggs for 8 bucks. Glazed salmon lollipops for 22. So you can tell they like to have fun with food.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
the entrees are about 20 bucks or less too. There's a beer and cheese bacon burger, pulled pork grilled pulled pork grilled cheese or ahi tacos, cacio e pepe, 20 bucks. So this is gosh, I want to go try this place now too.
I know it sounds hip and delicious. That's the Lincoln. That's a fun one. Another one that is new to us is called Folklore. And this is a fun and funky spot in Napa. And it's part record store, part bar, part gourmet cafe with an inspired menu of bites for their patrons who are also music lovers. So next to Rose, you walk in and like seriously, it looks like a record store. You see the record bins, but you also have these little cafe tables and a bar where you can get a fun libation, or you can order some nibbles while you chill and listen to music and argue about your favorite vinyl records.
Mhm.
And the menu, I think, is really surprisingly wonderful. It's a nice selection of French and European inspired menu items that include cheese and charcuterie boards, salads, sandwiches, and interesting bites. So some examples include a hot roast beef sandwich with cheese and broccolini for $16, an heirloom tomato tartine for $16, a leek and hen of the woods flatbread. And of course, I had to Google what's hen of the woods. It's a mushroom, and that's $22. And then, much like the truffle popcorn or the chili apple pie, you got to order it's made to order, but get the warm chocolate chip cookie for $8 because
Hmm.
what a perfect way to cap off your meal and your libations at Folklore.
That's amazing. Now, most of these places that we've talked about, many have lunch, but a lot of it's dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But, got to eat lunch somewhere too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you do decide to go to the CI at Copia in Napa, they've got some dining options too. And the best deal there is their casual cafe. It's in the courtyard. It's called the Lunchbox. And you can sip and nosh and play cornhole or bocce ball. And this summer, they're doing the Summer of Pies World Pizza Tour. Every 2 weeks, they'll feature a different regional Italian pizza made by renowned chefs. So maybe one day it's a Neapolitan style. Another week, it's what they call pizza Italia, which are the long oblong pizzas that Rome is very well known for, that they sell by, they cut a slice off of that and weigh it, and that's the pizza taglio.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's a family friendly copia. Um, the lunchbox because of the bocce ball, because of the lawn and you can the cornhole. It's a place to just chill, eat, and have some kind of downtime, and still take in an experience. So We mentioned earlier Oxbow Market, and they have many, many options. The Napa Yard at Oxbow is a beer garden where you can go and get, your standard beer garden fare. So nothing that's going to be super surprising, but they do have a Korean fried chicken sandwich, a kale Caesar salad, buffalo cauliflower, and tacos. Most items come in under $20. And at the beer garden, the Napa Yard, you can also get cocktails, beer and wine, and enjoy them al fresco.
For sure. Well, Brasswood Bar and Bakery is the sister restaurant to the Brasswood Restaurant, which is lovely. But again, we're talking lunch, and they've got this great place that has baked goods and picnic provisions. You can get a BLT and chicken pesto sandwich, lots of salads, indoor and outdoor seating is available. And the grounds are absolutely beautiful. You're in a
Yeah.
courtyard. It's just so lovely and chill.
Right. And they'll serve that lunch up until 5 o'clock. So you can kind of go there for a late afternoon snack too. And it's really good. They also offer breakfast early in the morning, starting, I think, at 8:30 or so with chilaquiles, which I always love, and really wonderful pastries. So it is a really good option. But we mentioned picnicking earlier, Mary, and I think
Yes.
that's such a key thing that many people want to do when they're up in Napa Valley. So the way to make it happen is by we mentioned earlier some of the bakeries like Bouchon or Model Bakery, all of them, or Brasswood, they're all geared to help you take food to go so you can take it to the wineries with you, eat it in the car as you're driving to your next destination. But there's also some great markets in Napa Valley which cater to things like that as well. One of them that we used to go to a lot when we were doing our TV show is Sunshine Market.
Oh,
And they
yes.
have great sandwiches, salads, and picnic fare. And again, they know exactly what you're looking for and they have it. So you're going to be able to buy soft drinks, kombucha, whatever. They'll have fruit. They've got it all there. They're kind of thinking along the same lines. They know what people want.
And then there's the Oakville Grocery. This is a Napa Valley icon.
Mhm.
And several years ago, the fabulous vintner Jean-Charles Boisset bought the market, and he's developed it into such a great destination. So you go in and it has that old world grocer feeling, but you can get sandwiches, salads, other prepared foods. They have breakfast items, and you can eat. Now there are places you can eat right there on the grounds, or you can get it all to go and take it to what other winery you are doing. Um, so yeah, those are just a few tips on, or a lot of tips actually, on where to eat. But now you're probably tired, so you need a place to rest your head.
Okay, and this is the hardest one to find on a budget. Anyone who's done any looking in wine country, California wine country, prices have gone way, way up, and it is hard to find a deal. But we did our darndest to try to locate some things that still, I mean, it's not Motel 6 pricing, but we have found you what we consider wine country deals. And we're going to go through them fairly quickly. And one thing I think it's important to mention for many of these places, they're clean, they're nice, and you're not going there for the hotel. Remember that. You're going to Napa Valley for the beautiful scenery, for the great food, for the experiences. You need a comfortable, clean, safe place to sleep, but you're not going to be spending a ton of time in your hotel room. Something to consider when you're booking for Napa Valley. So,
Also
mhm.
something else to consider is the dates that I checked for most of these were midweek and for one night. And we'll talk about some tips, but that's one thing if you are planning to go on a weekend, be aware that most hotels require a 2 night minimum, but midweek, they usually don't.
Right. Okay, so let's kick off our list. We've got the Belle Abri Napa Valley Inn. It includes a free breakfast. It's a nice boutique hotel. Rooms are in the range of $200 to $230. Again, midweek.
Great. The Knoll Valley Napa Valley Tapestry Collection by Hilton. looks really great. It gets terrific reviews. And best of all, they have a gym. So nightly rates start at 212 and with tax and fees, about 244 is your total output.
Okay. Up Valley Inn and Hot Springs in Calistoga. This one got the TripAdvisor's Traveler's Choice Award in 2022. So that's a good thing. And I think my favorite thing about it is with your stay, you get access to their mineral water pool, sauna, and steam room. It is a $216 non-refundable reservation at the Up Valley Inn and Hot Springs.
Right. And then there's the Hotel Indigo Napa Valley. Again, it's a nice boutique hotel that has a gym included. It's about 230 a night. Then there's a couple chains, and there's nothing wrong with the chains,
No,
and
no.
especially if they save you money. So
Mhm.
there's the Hampton Inn and Suites in downtown Napa. Great location, free breakfast, 187 a night.
Hilton Garden Inn in Napa, 195 a night, and the Doubletree Hilton in American Canyon, which note is a little farther away. So you are going to drive into Napa, but you don't have to drive that far, and you're going to get a good deal. So if you're a Hilton Honors member, rates start at 139 to 155, and they're refundable. And so Doubletree American Canyon.
Yes, and there's a couple of other hotels in American Canyon too, so keep that in mind. And then there's the classic El Bonita Motel. It's in
Woohoo!
St. Helena. Um, Mary, how many nights did the In Wine Country cruise stay there?
So
Um,
many.
so many. It is bare bones, nothing fancy. 180 a night, but there are nice grounds, and you can walk to several places in St. Helena from there. So keep that in mind. It's an oldie but goodie.
I love El Bonita, and the best thing about it is it's really centrally located. So
Mhm.
it's a cute killer spot for not too much money. And oh, another thing, some of these rates will vary based on the season as well. As we mentioned midweek,
Yes,
but if you're visiting in February or January, it's going to be cheaper than it would be in the summer or during harvest time, which is big in the valley. Spring is big in the valley too because of all the mustard blooms. It's a beautiful time to visit.
hmm
So often pricing reflects the season and the appeal of the valley. So when you come in the winter, the vines are bare. I like that look, but it's not as and it's colder. In fact, I was in Calistoga this winter and it was raining, but I still had a great time. So there's something to be said for going off season. You will save money, but you may not see, grapes hanging on the vine, right?
right. And one of the off-season times that most people don't think about is in between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh,
Rates are a little bit lower in between the two holidays.
okay, cool. Which kind of kicks off our last section for you, general tips. We mentioned visit midweek. Staying on weekends, you're going to pay so much more, and you're going to have these 2-night minimums and stuff when you're booking hotels. So if you can work it out, go midweek. You'll save a lot of money.
Sure. And be sure to make reservations for eating out and also for wine tasting. And as we mentioned, not every tasting room is open 7 days a week. And you shouldn't plan more than 2 to 3 winery visits a day.
Right. That doesn't make sense. You won't feel good. You you won't enjoy the wine. It's too much. They take the visits, if you, especially if you have reservations, they take quite a while and you will max yourself out. It's just too much. It's important to remember to do things other than wine tasting also because you might just burn out on the experience and it kind of cheapens what's happening. You may be at a really great winery, but if you've gone to too many, it doesn't, you're like, oh, another beautiful mansion. Come on. Right.
hmm
So include other things than wine tasting to keep it interesting and
Right.
make sure you use a designated driver or Uber or Lyft to get around because, nothing wrecks a great time quicker than a car accident or a DUI.
Right. And Mary, I love the fact that you mentioned that Behringer has option for $15 for people who are not drinking, and that would include a designated driver.
Right.
So, another tip is when you call to make that reservation, ask if they have any special accommodation or pricing for designated drivers or people who don't drink.
That's a great point. Make sure when you're out there wine tasting, of course, drink lots of water. We talked about this earlier, but you can save money by getting picnic supplies and eating at places like the Oxbow Market. There's lots of pretty little parks in Napa Valley. You can pull up and just get out bring a little blanket and have a picnic. Some other things to think about when you're going wine tasting, ask ahead of time if you can split a tasting. This is something that's such a you tip, Mary Orland. Um, so I've never done this. Have you done it?
Oh, yeah, usually because especially if I'm with somebody who's the driver, my husband usually, or
Hmm.
we just don't want to drink that much. Um, it works great, but I I I think it probably works at places where you can do a walk-in tasting, maybe not a seated experience, but it never hurts to ask.
Hmm. And I think something important to remember, especially if you're going with a group, you are going into a winery and it's not a nightclub. So you don't expect to have the big, loud time. They want to tell you about the wine. They want you to listen and learn about the wine. They're not there to watch you slam wine back. So remember that. And it's hard sometimes with a group of fun-loving people, but just try to remember the experience you've chosen. You're in wine country for a reason, and it's not, hopefully it is not to get sloshed. It's, if so, you've chosen a very expensive way to get drunk.
Exactly. So, and um, people may not be aware that there are visitor centers throughout the valley. There is the Napa Valley Welcome Center, the Yountville Welcome Center, St. Helena and Calistoga also have welcome centers. You can stop in, especially when you first get there. You can pick up some maps, you can get some recommendations. They might tell you about places you don't know about. If you've got a electric vehicle, they can point you to the chargers in town and more. And it's all
Yeah.
free.
Wealth of information for sure. We're also on our website. We will link you to all kinds of transportation options other than Uber or Lyft, such as buses. Vine Transit is the bus system, Shuttles Up Valley, which provides on-demand transit services, Calistoga Shuttle, St. Helena Shuttle. There's a bunch of different, the Yountville Trolley, lots of different options, and we will link all of those. So if you're looking for ways to get around without a car, we've got them for you.
Absolutely. And then we'll also have links to visit napavalley.com and the napavalleyvintners.com for more lists and guides. For example, the Napa Valley Vintners has a winery finder that helps you discover wineries that welcome walk-ins or ones with art displays, barrel tastings, gardens, and more.
So it's possible you can do it. You can be bougie on a budget. You can see Napa Valley without breaking the bank or spending your children's inheritance. It's just, it takes a little digging and it takes some planning, but it is certainly worth it. And Mary Orland and I are two huge fans of Napa Valley, and we are also real people who, are also looking for ways to save money. So we get it, and we are happy to share this information with you. We hope we've given you some good tips today.
Absolutely. So if you do use any of our suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. So you can follow us on social media at Sip Sip Hooray Podcast and leave us a comment or let us know what your experience was like. Or if you've got other, budget saving tips that we need to know about and can share with our listeners, that would be awesome.
Yeah, or link your photo at one of these places to us at Sip Sip Hooray Podcast.
Absolutely. Again, I mentioned all this information will be in our show notes at sipsiphooraypodcast.com and on our Substack. And we encourage you, wherever you listen to this podcast, to subscribe, leave a rating, leave us a review that helps other people find the pod.
Yes, absolutely. Your favorable comments and ratings and your advice to other listeners helps us enormously. So we're grateful for you for listening. We hope we've given you some ideas, and we will have all of this so you can go back and reference it later. So thanks again for listening to Sip Sip Hooray podcast. And cheers, Mary Roland.
Cheers, Mary Babbitt.
All right, Sip Sip Hooray.